How are people affording life right now? How are people tackling this cost of living on the average American salary? I just watched a TikTok of a teacher who makes a teacher's salary. I don't know what state she's in, so I don't know how much she makes, but her one-bedroom apartment is $2,000. And when she spends $2,000 on that one-bedroom apartment, it doesn't even come with a washer and dryer. So she has to go pay an additional $2 every time she wants to use their washer and dryer. Okay, like, how does that leave her any extra money to spend? And then she said she had a $400 car payment, which some people were bashing her on that. But in today's economy with interest rates, that's really not that bad. And I'm sure she needs a dependable car. So you talk about teacher's salary, $2,000 in rent, $400 car payment, you got insurance, you got groceries, electricity. Like, I don't understand how people are affording life right now, and it really makes me sad for some people. You have people who are like her. She's single, she has her own salary, or families where it just works out best for them for the mother to stay home. And if the father is just making an average American salary, how are they affording life without going in a bunch of debt? This lady who's a teacher started crying because she said she realizes on her salary and where she lives, she will actually end up in more debt. Then, like, she will just continue to accrue more debt and more debt and more debt because her salary is not matching the cost of living. And what's sad is I've seen people be like, just spend less. Listen, guys, the cost of living is rising and our salaries are stagnant, okay? So there's not just spend less. That's not the problem here. The problem is the cost of living is outrageous, and minimum wage in some states is still $7.25. Teachers in some states are still paid a ridiculously low salary, even though their job is super important. I don't know what we can do about this, but I'm just going on a rant because it really, really pisses me off.
I'm fucking stressed out! I'm fucking stressed! We should not be working like this. I work my ass off and I can't even fucking pay bills, bro. And they always say don't compare yourself to others, but I see people going to Coachella and fucking like buying all types of shit, just pointless fuck you money, and I'm over here can't even fucking pay my fucking rent, bro.
Hey TikTok, I'm just on here wondering if anybody's feeling the same way I'm feeling. I'm from Illinois and I feel like the gas prices and the electric bills and the prices of food is just so overwhelming anymore. Like, I'm wondering if anybody else is feeling like they're drowning and they can't get out. I work overtime and I cannot get above water. I mean, I literally have no gas for next week. It was either that or get a few groceries to get by. I hit my local food pantries. I'm just wondering if anybody else feels like they're drowning. But anyway, I hope everybody has a great day.
So I have a question. How are people making it and living it nowadays? I know I'm not the only one in this boat, but like, I'm scared. I'm really starting to worry. All my credit cards are maxed out. I haven't made a payment on my credit cards in months because I have no money to do it. My savings is exhausted. There's nothing in there. Gas overnight has gone up 16 cents where I live. It is now $4.15 a gallon. I just want to know, what are people doing? Because this is getting really scary. I can't buy groceries. My electric bill is $400 a month. My house payment has gone up $100 or $150 a month. I don't know what they expect people to do. But here we are giving billions of dollars to Ukraine and paying for Hunter Biden's fucking trial and all this bullshit the taxpayers have to pay, but we cannot live. I mean, people are going to lose everything. They really are. Like, I'm scared. I can't sleep at night because I'm worrying about how I'm going to pay something. I can't even feed my kids. I mean, this is getting really, really scary. And I know I'm not the only one in this situation. I know there's millions of other people. but I mean, I'm scared. I've not been this scared in a long time. Like, I feel like I'm going to lose everything. And no matter how much I work, I literally donate plasma to make money, and it's still not enough. I don't know. I just don't know what to do anymore. This is getting bad. It's never been this bad in my lifetime as to what this idiot president has done to us. I mean, people are going to lose everything.
You tell us that we're taking his words out of context. You tell us that we're not looking at the bigger picture. He tore down Roe versus Wade, and he's proud of it, brags about it. I worked in a hospital in an operating room area where we had an ectopic come through probably every 10 days. I don't know what they're doing now. It's Louisiana. God help them. If these ectopic pregnancies are getting turned away from ERs until the woman is at the point of death, yeah. So when he says things like they're having gender reassignment surgeries at school, gone for 3 days, and they don't notice it for 15 years. Now, I heard those words come out of his mouth. Don't tell me I'm taking it out of context. He's saying he's going to pay for IVF now, or he'll make insurance companies do it. That's 50 to 100 grand, if it's successful. Democracy's on the line. Tearing down Roe versus Wade was just a first step. Just the first step. Why? Why are you still on board?
Most Americans are under the impression we started Apple Pay because we started Apple. And no, we are so fucking far behind the world on all forms of digital payments. Like when they talk about bank transfers, they are talking about like they basically have PayPal directly from their bank accounts. But you can have different banks. And it's automatically built into their banking system that you can send money between any bank, no matter what bank you go to. I went to the UK a decade ago, and they couldn't even use my US cards because it didn't have a chip in it yet. And I wasn't using like Google Pay yet, but I downloaded it. Everybody there was using Tap to Pay for a long time. Even the mom and pop shops didn't have swipe machines anymore. They all looked at me like I stepped out of 1982, right? And then I came back and started using Google Pay because I was used to it and it was convenient. And all the stores here, most people, I was the first one they had ever seen do it. They would tell me that's not going to work on our machine. We don't have that. And I'm like, oh, it works everywhere. And then they would just go, like, blew their fucking mind. They had never seen that shit before. So yeah, we are way behind the rest of the world on all digital payments. It's actually humiliating.
A common stereotype that I've encountered about Americans is that we are not that interested in international travel or seeing countries outside of our own. I went down such a rabbit hole about this today, and I really want to share what I found. I've mostly encountered this stereotype when traveling in Europe or when talking with Europeans, and so specifically I want to compare the United States to Europe. According to Pew Research, 27% of Americans have never left the United States. And that is compared with 37% of EU citizens who have never been outside their own country. To put that into perspective, here's a map of the US states that have an international border at all. If you don't count Florida because it's a maritime border, there are only 17 states with an international land border. So I thought it'd be interesting to find out what percentage of the US population lives in these states that have an international border. This is using 2020 census data, and it's only 34.6% of the US population. And that's even being pretty generous because I did include Pennsylvania, which has a population of over 13 million, and that is its border with Canada. All to say, it's geographically more difficult for us to leave the country, and yet we're still doing it at a higher rate. Not to mention, it is way more expensive for us to travel. Even flights within the US are comparably more expensive than flights within Europe to other European countries. That's all without mentioning the train networks. We don't have high-speed trains and our train tickets are way more expensive. For those of us who do want to travel, our passport fees are more expensive than most European countries. Here's the UK prices, for example, 86 euros in France. Of course, there are some countries like Norway where the price is more similar to ours. But where I think this really gets interesting is I came across this post by a pilot who was talking about how it's more expensive to fly from the United States to Europe round trip than it is to fly from Europe to the United States round trip. So I went on to Google Flights and I typed in major European and US cities, and I just looked at the fare calendar to look at the lowest fares in different months from these cities if you just switch them. So what that means, New York City to Paris round trip was consistently more expensive than Paris to New York round trip during the same times. I encourage you to try this on Google Flights. Just switch the destination and see how much more expensive it is to fly from the United States than it is to fly from Europe. And then on top of that, we have no mandatory vacation. And 1 in 4 US workers don't have any paid vacation time or holidays. So not only is it more expensive, more geographically difficult, and we have less vacation, but we still make the effort to travel internationally.
I don't think Americans realize how stupid the rest of the world thinks we are. And I can kind of see why. So I've been bopping around Italy for a few months, and the amount of times that I have seen a group of Americans yell at someone or get mad at someone for the simplest thing when it's their fault is ridiculous. A few examples would be when I've been in restaurants and there's clear signs that are like, please stand here, wait here, pay here, things like that with like clear instructions, and Americans do the wrong thing and then they start yelling at the wait staff when it's 100% their fault. And I used to think people were just pretending. Also, look, like Italian street art is beautiful. I used to think people were kind of exaggerating when they said how stupid Americans seemed in other countries, but now that I'm paying attention and focusing on it firsthand, I see it and I'm like, oh, this is how they view us all the time, and that completely makes sense. But yeah, so as one American to any others, when you guys are traveling, please don't be stupid and give us a bad name, because it's already pretty bad as is.
Why American men don't want to date American women anymore. A little disclaimer, I do live in the US for the past 7 years. 1. Some American men feel that American women are very entitled. They feel that many American women expect a partner who fit a specific ideal. He has to be smart, attractive, successful, fit. They believe that many American women have unrealistic expectations. They expect their partners to do everything, and they expect their partners to put their needs above their own. 2, because of the rise of radical feminism, there is a loss of femininity among American women, and they even started to adopt some masculine traits. 3. Opportunistic behavior. A big percentage of divorces are initiated by women, and usually it's because they prioritize their career and personal growth over their family life. And a lot of men also express some frustration because they feel that there is a lack of commitment and loyalty among American women. And that is why a lot of American men are now dating non-American women, because they believe that non-American women tend to prioritize mutual respect, shared values, and commitment. Why American men don't want to date American women anymore. A little disclaimer, I do live in the US for the past 7 years. 1. Some American men feel that American women are very entitled. They feel that many American women expect a partner who fit a specific ideal. He has to be smart, attractive, successful, fit. They believe that many American women have unrealistic expectations. They expect their partners to do everything, and they expect their partners to put their needs above their own. 2, because of the rise of radical feminism, there is a loss of femininity among American women, and they even started to adopt some masculine traits. 3. Opportunistic behavior. A big percentage of divorces are initiated by women, and usually it's because they prioritize their career and personal growth over their family life. And a lot of men also express some frustration because they feel that there is a lack of commitment and loyalty among American women. And that is why a lot of American men are now dating non-American women, because they believe that non-American women tend to prioritize mutual respect, shared values, and commitment.